What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the first official podcast by the NFT Freaks platform. My name is Vangeli Galekis, and I'm the admin at NFT Freaks. There's been a lot of requests coming in that I take this up a notch after hosting a bunch of Twitter spaces for the last few weeks. So this is my first official attempt at taking this up a notch. And if you like what you hear, wherever you're hearing this stream from, please like and subscribe so that I can get the courage to continue keeping this podcast growing. And what really is NFT Freaks, right? It's an aggressive channel that lives on Twitter for artists and collectors that have already taken flight. That means artists already have spots in marketplaces and collectors have already indulged in the collecting of NFT by spending their precious ether. So when you go there, it could seem confusing at first, but you have to understand that we take the community activities throughout the day and we sort of summarize the hottest topics or the hottest happenings, as best as we can at least, onto the timeline. And that's what happens daily over there. It happens for about 15 to 20 hours a day. And we basically help spin your NFT or whatever it is that you're doing for the community. We try to take that and spin it to the very top of the Twitter algorithm. So that is what we're doing. And I plan on giving these podcasts more and more as I continue to grow so that we can study and learn and advance our minds into an audio presentation of some sort when we're working, driving, or we're moving about, and we can't really just sit and indulge on Twitter and continue reading that timeline. And sometimes when you get left out of the loop like that in NFT land, you come back and it's hard to grasp what's happening because, again, it moves so fast that 2 or 3 days could make you feel as if you have lost out weeks, or just make you feel as if you lost out on weeks worth of happenings here in the community, which it really can't be further from the truth. When you're working in NFT land or within our community, even a couple of days of working on Twitter, it seems so intense and takes your mind for such a ride that it feels as if you've been there already for 2 or 3 weeks, but you look back at the clock and check your date and you figure out that it's only Tuesday and you started at Monday. So it's just a false sense of FOMO that's happening to your mind when you're either not here or when you are here. You think like, hey, dude, how long have I really been doing this, right? How long have I really been working here? Have I been hustling all week, all month long, or have I really just been here for 24 hours? Now, on the flip side of that, there are projects and drops that literally are gone immediately. Like you do not have time to really be on the fence. There are artists who are publishing and minting works that do not last long on the marketplaces. So sometimes it is very crucial that you understand a schedule of a drop or you show up at a certain time so you can have a chance to even get a chance to indulge on some of these things that are produced here within our community. So time is just a really big thing. When you're not working, you're feeling like you're missing out. When you're working extensively, you feel like you've been here a whole long year. And when something happens that really just impacts the entire community and you don't have that, you just feel a sudden loss of depression or unworth or unvalue because you're like, damn, I missed out on the drop that everybody else is indulging on and I don't get to blow my horn with the rest of the community. So it becomes just a real big play on your mind, and you just have to keep remembering that you're at a very early stage of discovering something that's going to last for a very long time. The only thing that's going to continue happening in NFT land is the interest for NFTs are going to grow bigger and bigger, stronger and badder than ever before. The second wave of NFT lovers is coming and it's just around the corner, and you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to be there, either as an artist or as a collector. But how do you become an artist or a collector in this space? If you're an artist, then you need to make sure that you have some type of style or something to give, some type of value proposition that's going to separate you from the next person that comes either behind you or that has already came ahead of you. Think about it. You want to be able to offer a value proposition or sort of mint or style that is different than anything a collector has seen before. For me, if you're collecting something like a digital artworks, when I enter your collection, I want to make sure that my style is number one, unique, easy to spot. And after I build a future here, a lot of other artists and people and collectors are going to be able to recognize my art as soon as it flies across the screen. I believe that the legends here in this space become legends because their style becomes legendary. And it's because when they enter the space, their value proposition is already unique. It's really just that simple. It's like that style belongs to that artist and we're familiar with it because it's already been collected and entered prestige collections. And when your art is able to enter prestige collections, or what we consider here in our community to be prestige collectors and their collections, when your artworks enter that, then your style is being birthed and taken to the next tier of artistry. And that's your whole goal here, is to enter as an artist and provide a value proposition that's strictly unique to you and your style of creation. As long as you're doing that, you have some sort of life that you can challenge yourself and chase after here in NFT land. But how do you enter the game as a collector? How do you get to indulge on artists and their creations in all of their artworks as a digital NFT? Well, I'm glad you asked. All you have to do is have a MetaMask and load it with your favorite cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency should align with whatever marketplace you're after and whatever chain the artwork is sitting on. The blockchain is allowing artists to create their artworks and digitally sign them with the stamp, their actual wallet code. And when that artwork is pressed with that wallet code and minted on the blockchain, you are able to bid on that artwork and collect that digital NFT as something you could trade or even sell on the secondary market. So think of it as collecting baseball cards or basketball cards or even football cards, right? You remember when you had rookies and you had super series and limited edition runs? Well, it's the same thing for an artist here creating artworks. They're basically driving their art program through a series of mints that's being collected and traded amongst the community through social clout buzz and also fabulous artistic works. It's like they're taking the token, the wallet code, and they're splashing it with something that's so visual appealing that you're ready to indulge with your ether and pay for it to trade it amongst your peers. And where does all this take place and really happen at? Well, there's a slew of marketplaces that the artists are a part of, but the main action starts at twitter.com. After twitter.com, the next areas are going to be your discords, which you find out from within the community. After you gain a little bit of notoriety amongst your peers, discords will start to show its face and you take a liking to the discord of the style that you're after. Find a couple of people that you actually care about and that you actually strike common interest with. And if they're a part of that Discord server, then it makes sense for you to follow that and become a part of it. But after that, the splintering just kind of happens on its own. The inner communities being built inside of the community usually happen from within whatever marketplace you want to be nested into. Overall, you want to become familiar with all the players within our community, especially the artists first, who are also offered in usually all of the marketplaces. They're the base foundation of what we are trading and collecting and putting a value and worth on top of. And everybody gets to have that same shot at the breeding ground of becoming absolutely nothing, just coming in with your artworks, your kindness, your heart, your social maneuvering, and then us as collectors placing those bets on top of you through a relationship that you build, plus the value proposition of your amazing artworks. And that's basically the basis foundation of aping into what we call NFTs. So remember, if you like what you hear, if you want to hear more of these podcasts, if you want me to keep going and growing, I need you to be sure to subscribe or like or follow wherever you're hearing this podcast stream from, so that I know you want me to continue making and creating these to educate further in our space or further from our space to new people, and also keep our artists and collectors in the loop. And of course, as we progress and as we keep growing, the podcast will become better. It will become more live. It will get more intense. I will be able to bring guests on, and I will be able to get very more informative as time allows me to continue to do so. But be sure to share this link with whoever you think can benefit from a teaching or an understanding of what NFT is or what it will become, because as we progress, it will get better and better and better. So thank you for joining me today on the first official podcast. I know it was pretty short, but I wanted to keep it brief and just offer an introduction. And I hope to see you and your art on Twitter at NFT Freaks. Thank you for joining me.